Hello. Like to send out love and compassion to anybody out there who is experiencing suffering. I would also like to send out gratitude for anybody who is just allowing me to serve you right now with a song and with some thoughts. I wanted to talk about one just quick specific thing that's been on my mind. It's it's this idea that we're at war with the virus, the pandemic, this characterization that we have that somehow having the attitude of being at war with the virus is helpful. And I understand how saying we're at war with something is a way to kind of motivate people and to inspire people to take a particular thing seriously. But once we sort of engage in that kind of thought process, I feel like it's very short-sighted when it comes to long-term solutions. I would propose the idea of more of like a coexistence. And I know that could be a difficult idea of coexisting with something that has the potential of killing you. But if we can just step back and look at our lives even before the acknowledgement of the virus, which we were coexisting with, just wasn't in us yet. There are all sorts of things that we coexist with, whether it's like you're driving a car or walking across the street or just going in for a walk in the woods, that have the potential of killing us at any time. So it's something that we know we can do. It just requires a particular thought process. And so this idea that we're kind of the host for the virus, that it doesn't really exist outside of a host, and now we have become one of a host for it. It's interesting to me. I was trying to imagine it as sort of, in the host. I was thinking immediately of how you host a party, and more or less this virus is a very uninvited party guest. And I was thinking, like, when you deal with an uninvited party guest, if you take on, I've had a few experiences with people like this at various parties, and if you take on a combative sort of war-like strategy with them, or you start employing like military type tactics, let alone, whether it's physical or you like start to get the police involved. depending on where you're at with this, if you could be just sort of making things worse in a way that uninvited guest has a way of, for lack of a better term, mutating into something even worse. And so I think even at, in the thinking and literal process, it's not always the best idea. I remember, there are lots of things you can do, to kind of like not have a party, like have a kind of a party where you don't want certain people to come. I mean, you make it an invite only kind of thing or whatever. These are, what things that we're doing, like by wearing masks and stuff like that. We're putting restrictions and barriers around our party just to keep certain guests out for now. And I can remember a record that I had that I stole from my dad's record collection by this guy Perry Como, and I used to call it the like Time to Go Home record. It was I think it was a Christmas record actually of his, and Perry Como was the singer who had this really slow vocal delivery that was just like sonic. It was like sonic ambient, it just, and so it was a perfect thing to put on, like at like 2 or 3 in the morning when you were ready for people to go. Yeah, no one could listen to it. Like halfway through the record, people would be like, "Oh yeah, it is getting kind of late." Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like having a little bit more of an attitude of seeing something as something we're gonna need to learn how to coexist with, versus this idea that it's something we're going to destroy in order to make our lives better. Because I think a lot of times with that, we start finding that when the next mutation comes out, or maybe there's something else that happens, that before you know it, you're engaging in more or less like a constant war. And that's a very exhausting existence. So this song I'm going to play is called Beachcomb, and it's just a song about love, how I think it's the most powerful thing. Yep. Last night I caught you in my dreams, beachcombing for bones, ripping life out at the seams, and faking happy homes. You slipped in through my cradle bars to share my lonely bed, then blew me on a moonlit beach and left me there for dead. To see a dancer in a cage is not the way things ought to be. Now fear took you to higher ground. is the most powerful thing. Love is the most, love is the most, love is the most powerful thing. Love is the most, 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 love is the most powerful thing. I love you, and until we meet again.